All right, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? What's up? What's up? Friday, December 8th, 2023. We have a little non-farm payroll come out. A lot of volatility followed by chop. So they dumped us 30 points. They bounced us right back up, and we are right smack dab where we were beforehand. So the only people making money right meow is the iron condors, baby. The premium riders. Well done. The good news about the dump and pump back up is they have now cleared the book and free to roam about the cabin. So whatever move goes from here, we don't necessarily have to worry about it backfilling once it picks a direction because it's already backfilled. They've been stopped out, the Iron Condors. The zero DTEs, probably, yeah. I guess if you took that from Monday, then yeah, possibly. But I don't know why Roblox is green almost every day. Do you have kids? If you had kids, you'd understand. Let's see. Although my kids don't play Roblox. There you go. TradingView links up. So, you're welcome, Justin. Also, co-streaming on Twitter today, so if you have a Twitter account, you can go over and take a look there. See how that goes. But yeah. All right, currently about a minute to go here. Nothing's really changed. So hopefully it's not boring. But in terms of excitement and looking to get something done, nothing has changed since yesterday. We are smack dab in the middle of the range, which means I'm not swinging anything or getting excited about anything until we break out of said range. One thing to be aware of is that the contracts rolled last night, so if you are trading the ES1 exclamation, which is the front-running contract on TradingView, you'll be noticing a 50-point change in difference or in price from yesterday. I made a little joke about it on Twitter last night. Some people thought I wasn't joking. So that's why I posted the December and March conversions in the stream analysis channel. All right, so there's market open right here, 46.33. You see this got liquidity 15,915 on NASDAQ ES, which I do need to put on the March contracts. So far, the Decembers have 4,600 and 45.60. Is there a 3-second delay on Twitter? Honestly, I don't know. Today's my first day using it. So, all right, so a 5-point candle out of the gate on ES, nothing crazy. NASDAQ put on a little bit more of a pop from, 939 up to 995, so about a 60-point move straight up. Crazy stuff. On back down. A lot of autistic out there, humor and sacred. Yeah. I didn't make a joke. I don't know if that was meant for somebody else. Man. 46.32. Coming on down. What's up, Damien? How you doing? Do you have continuous contract switch turned on for TradingView? I do, yeah. I've got that little adjusted contract, so it does make up the gaps. All right, big red right on back down. Smoked it. Smoked it. And green right on back up. This is great. Look at NASDAQ's price action. Big green, big red, big green. That's crazy stuff. If you're quick on the trigger, you can make that happen, but I'm good. None for me. So literally, I'm gonna, in terms of the overall thesis and patience, it's all about waiting for the breach of the range. 4,600, 4,550, and nothing else. That's it. It's all noise from there. Big green back up right on top of the POC. We also have volume profile, not volume profile, VWAP, and POC is right here at the 46.37 realm. Currently trying to top wick. We can't really get above that pre-market area. Currently short off 70.95 on oil. Nice, very cool. NASDAQ is hanging out right at 15,983. I'm going to be very patient today and wait for high quality setups. You and me both. DAX is going for a new all-time high. When is it doesn't go to new all-time highs? 46.35. ES not really moving as much as NASDAQ. NASDAQ's putting on a good amount of volatility. 60 points up and down a couple of times. VIX is down to 1280, so a big gap down on the VIX. The bonds dumped, buying it back up. XLF is flat. Looking around the market, it's a mixed bag. A little red and green across the board. So my big question today coming into the session was, which data posting will provide enough liquidity to get us out of the range? So, we've got obviously non-farm this morning. We've got CPI and FOMC next week, and those are liquidity providers. And the overarching theme for me is we are starting to see a little bit of building of volume into this. So, although the price action is pinned flat, the volume is slowly starting to uptick just slightly. So maybe that means we're getting ready to get out of this range, which hopefully we are. And the next obvious choice would be CPI and FOMC of Wednesday, Thursday. Apparently Twitter has the same delay as YouTube. FYI. Holding on to overnight puts. We in red. Yeah, so far. What's the buys today? So far, I mean, we're dead flat. I'll probably wait here till the top of the hour to really form something. We do have some bottom wicks after the big dump and then pop back up. And after yesterday's close, I guess you could be cautiously looking for attack at the top of the range here with the bottom wick. But again, that doesn't really mean much because it's data posting. So they did drop it. So far, they're holding that pop back up. DAX new all-time highs. There we go. NASDAQ is coming back up. 15,970. VIX is still rolling off here as well. Apple's coming back down red candles. Microsoft is coming back down red candles. And looking for the next move. A little bit of red, 15,973 here. Jump back over. AMD's down today. Nice. Yeah, was that the first time in like 3 weeks we've had a red day? Slow days is 0 DTE iron condor. Managing would be okay. That's all you do today. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to add a 0 myself. That's just personally something I don't want to do anymore. But always, if you can identify a chop session, absolutely. The way to go is a 0 DTE, especially when IV starts to come off. So still right now, nothing to get excited over. NASDAQ is pinned at 970. Surprise, surprise there. ES is 46.35 on the new contracts. So right now, don't get hairy. Just kind of chillax right now. And don't be bussing. So right now, the market's not passing the vibe check, and we have to wait until it's bussing. For real, for real. 46.34. The good news is, remember Anna Coling talks about Chapter 7, Volume Price Analysis, that she enjoys accumulation. Because the longer the accumulation, especially on the daily chart, no cap, the longer the decumulation, the bigger the move. So if you want to see a big move, and I'm not even talking about up and down, bearish, bullish. I'm talking about this net delta of the move. When you want to see a big move, you want to see an extended period of a consolidation on the daily chart. So keep a lookout, watch for the volume influx or outflow on the daily chart, and wait for the move. Like a lion waiting in the grass for the gazelle. That's what you want to be. Why does DAX not have accumulation? I don't know. I don't. That thing's straight up every day. I don't know. We didn't have accumulation either. The end of October when we bounced, there was no accumulation. It just, bam, V recovery. So it was an odd market. Have I seen the new market pulse algos? Not yet. Not yet. Anyone else not get a notification for the stream today? I don't know. It's weird. Is there a glossary for these words? I don't even know if I'm using them right, Renzo. I just, I pick up on them and I just implement them with context. Does the volume taper off the last couple of weeks of the year? Yeah. I mean, typically, yes, just because we have a lot of holidays packed into a month. We have, within 30 days, we've got, all the international holidays, plus we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's, all that kind of stuff right there. So there's going to be a lot of holidays off. It's typically not a great time to trade, other than putting on a long position, typically for historical bullishness and holding it. But in terms of being here and scalping the price action, typically not a great point. I will tell you as well, the last time we traded the election, let's see, in 2016, I will say this, 2016, I told myself I'll never trade election month ever again. So November of 2024. So be ready. Next year we've got an election month coming up, and there's going to be very little scalping from your trading in that the month of November and the month prior of October. Maybe the end of October when it kind of blows over. So get ready for that. I've been killing it scalping micros. Nice. $46.35 here ES. Do we have any other data today? Today is Friday, December 8th. We've got Michigan Consumer at top of the hour. That's a 2-star event. We've also got the wage report at 12. Oil rig count at 1 o'clock, and that is it. So, y'all see that crazy interview last night with Tucker Carlson? Crazy stuff, man. Slow election month, not necessarily slow, it's just erratic. Especially as in my opinion, this will be probably one of the highest contested elections ever. So it's probably going to be a little crazy. There's probably going to be a lot of crazy headlines, and heck, if well, we won't put our tinfoil hats on, but it's probably going to be pretty crazy. A lot of crazy headlines going up and into the election. Probably stuff we've never seen before, and there'll probably be a lot of crap going on with markets too. So. All right, 46.35, big green on NASDAQ for a new high of the day, kind of carving this range out. Overnight levels are about in the ballpark of 16s, so now they're coming back up here to test these levels. And there's that bullishness that's overtaking with the bottom wick that we were talking about there. So 16.040, another target. That was yesterday's target. It hit it, oscillated right around it, and with this thing climbing up here, that would be another likely upside target. Alex Jones. Yeah, Tucker videoed Alex Jones. NVIDIA rocket ship right now. Amazon's coming up. Microsoft is coming up. Apple is coming up as well. ES is 46.39 and climbing. Is the interview worth watching? I think it is, yeah. Coming up. 16,000 right on top of it. $45.90. Top liquidity right there. Obviously, December contracts. Roll the VIX Friday. They're certainly doing it right now. For show. For show. All right, coming over right here. Another bottom wick back up, which is probably going to transact us higher here. We'll see. We will see. Holding. NASDAQ is going higher here too. Liquidity up to 1650, which is also yesterday's leverage. I just went long at 16 thou. And what I'm going to do is bring up my stops there. Oh, and they already got me. Great. I moved my stops up too quick. Top wick right back down. I thought that was the breakaway to 1650. All right, so I need to bring up my buy order back up. I brought my stop too tight. Crazy candle. You know what? I'm going to let that candle close. Yep. NASDAQ pre-market tag yesterday morning's range low play per reversing up, making up prior. Yeah, I mean that's why I keep my prior ranges on. My prior day's ranges stay on until today's range is set, and then I delete those off because they work. So they're liquidity grabbing this thing higher. If you look at this price action here, that you see them. Let's go over to NASDAQ and I'll show you what I was seeing there. So you see them continue to liquidity grab. Dump bottom wick, dump bottom wick. This is a bullish setup here. Dump bottom wick. They did it this candle. Dumped. This is where I longed and then rallied. And of course, you know, they came down. I put my stop too tight and got me out real quick, unfortunately. But a nice little bullish flow after all of this here too. And yeah, they accumulated, went higher. Coming up, I would probably look for this ballpark of 249 here on the March contracts, and a 0.4 or so on December's. A lot more movement here on NASDAQ, although ES is starting to pick up some steam. SPY is climbing up here as well. Big move. What does a future switch mean? My chart's showing a big gap up. It's just the roll. If you use if you use the forward-looking contract on TradingView, which is ES1 exclamation, it's going to bring the forward contracts. Right now, last night they switched to March. Now, because of the spot adjustment, there's about a 50-point difference between March and December's. And as you get closer to the March expiration, you'll see that spot get tighter and tighter and tighter. That's just the way that's the way markets work. Because what is ES right now? Now if you're new to futures, why does that do that? Well, the March contracts right now is a forward-looking price. It's futures. That's why it's called futures. It's not called pasts. It's called futures. So there's a spot difference, and it's about 50 points. And as you get closer to that, that's why the conversion value we do gets smaller and smaller and smaller, because that spot comes back down to the present value of the S&P. Yeah, I wish we could trade some pasts. Make a lot of money. Because it comes down to the present value, which is why, in Contago to VIX, is why I short VIX futures. It's a beautiful trade. It's one of the most common trades out there. Are we better trading March contracts now? To me, it's about the volume. It's about the volume. I want to see the volume shift over. And once the majority of the volume goes over to March, I will go over to March. I'll probably do it this weekend. What's up, KX? How you doing? On Twitter. I see the Twitter chat. I'm new to Twitter, so don't hate me if I miss a chat over there. Will you have a subscription on Twitter? I mean, I've got the blue check mark, if that's what you mean. So, a little bit of move down here. I'm still going to be very patient for the top of the hour move. Obviously, we have Michigan consumer sentiment. We still have contracts holding plenty enough premium today, and IV is still hovering around 19-20% after it juiced up to, what, 28? I think the highest I saw at 27 before non-farm. Can you shade VIX futures on Tradevate? I'd have to look. I haven't tried. Yeah, I'll monitor the volume on the chain today to see when it switches over. So overall, if we remember tracking the options data, today had 461 all over it. A whole bunch of exposure on 461 for today's expiration. So I need to go over and take a look today to see if they're going to roll over any exposure. Positioning right now is forward, obviously. If they take that positioning off for 461, we'll be looking for a move. Let's go down. Gamma exposure, expiration filter. Nope, still 461. Still 461. Right now, 458, which put us about a 3-point move higher And that would be a little Scott Stapp day right there. Can you take me higher? Apple's 194.05, not moving. Nvidia is beast mode for some reason. We just got on any positions, nothing yet. ASDF, nothing yet. Nasdaq's coming off a little bit of red. ES. Weekly open. Yeah. There's a lot of pivots right here. A lot of pivots. You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about Creed lately more than I have in the past 15 years. OM's influence is huge. That's right. I'm a huge Creed fan. All right. I changed up the stream format a little bit. Instead of streaming the monitor itself, I went to streaming the application itself, so you could see the whole frame. I hope that helps you all. Might be a little bit smaller font, but I think a little bit more clear. Try to be a little more with the times in terms of technology. Another bottom wick here, which is probably going to transact us even higher into that area, although we are entering some resistance, a little bit of resistance up here to the 16.034 area. So that might be a little tapered for now. ES is attempting to make a move into these upper levels, into the 54 area on March contracts. ESH 2024 is the name for those asking. I'll probably just to tidy things up this weekend, I'll go ahead and make the full switch over to Marches in terms of calculating levels. Do you have any educational content on setting up and using Bookmap on your website? I do, Darko. I do. I'll get it for you. Un momento, por favor. Bookmap. There it is. And copy. There you go. Post it in the Twitter chat. All right, so back up to 46.43, still making a nice move. We do have a little bit of a trend line at the moment, trying to make a move. When's the best time to roll over ES? Typically after the volume rolls. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much, no, but I like to be on the side of volume just because of liquidity purposes, although it's not that big a deal, you're right. But when the overall volume is higher on March is when I typically make the switch. But I'll probably do it this weekend just because it's a pain in the butt to reference December and March over and over again. Oh, you're welcome, Darko. You're welcome. All right, so we have another top wick here. We weren't able to grab that prior liquidity at 25, so a little bit of a retracement is most likely going to happen here at that 16.025 December contracts. And if you see, they are stacking. Well, they took that off. They had a little liquidity down at 970 to put on, but they took that back off, which would be a 20, 30 point move down there. Options chains messed up on TOS. It's weird. Microsoft. XLF banks are straight up. Banks are loving this stuff. We had a very large anomaly last night on the USD JPY, which is the chart for the dollar Japanese yen. Apparently, it liquidated a whole bunch of fund managers who were long the yen. Interesting to see what Michael Gaed talks about that with that today. He's big on that. I posted that, Aaron, right there. Somebody asked if I have a video on how to set up bookmap, and I do. So there's that big move over if we couldn't grab that liquidity at 0.23 again, and shifting back over at the moment, and rejecting some good pivotal upper resistance at the moment. The rollover volume can see on CME website. Yeah. There's the red. Sweet. And coming back over, most likely we're going to consolidate around the 976 now on December contracts. So let this thing retrace a little bit. 978, 980, 976, somewhere around there. 4 points on NASDAQ is when you'll likely see some sort of supportive price action. So watch for that to come down, which we're starting to drop a little bit here. If they were to take that out, then obviously we'll see what the rejection is going to look like. What's your take on BABA? BABA hasn't been doing too well since, what's his name, liquidated $1 billion of shares. It's hard to keep up when you got $1 billion liquidation hitting. Not to mention Chinese stocks are typically highly manipulated anyway. So I was long on them up until that 100, 110 area. But the fact that they've popped up that far and then gave it all back is a no-go. When I see a new high being put in and then a low, no, I'm good. So that's a no-go for me. Weakness. That's an inherent weakness in the market. And a change of character. Anytime those things happen, I'm out. All right, there's 980 touch on NASDAQ. So watch for a little bit of supportive down into the 975. Do you use the DOM in Bookmap? Not in Bookmap, no. They have 80 billion on hand. Yeah. I'm currently using the forward-looking, Tracy, but I'm referencing both. We dropped last night's close to the tick. Yeah. Right on back down. And also, we're non-farm payroll, both initiated and finished. So obviously, this 9.8 is going to have some supportive liquidity, right? Because if we come into the non-farm payroll event at 980, which is what we did, we sold off aggressively and then bounced back up aggressively to hold at 980 for about 30 minutes. I mean, you could tell that there's a lot of structure at 980, 15,980. So that is a range you want to put in there. Anytime we retrace or get to that area, there's going to be some opposite liquidity being auction there, and we need to pay attention to that area. And once we deal with that 980, then you could say, all right, well, right now, for example, we came down into it. We had about a 20-point bounce on NASDAQ. And we'll see what they do then. If they come down into it, transact it, chop for a couple minutes, well, then we could possibly look for transacting lower. But until then, they've got to deal with this 980 range. And that's what we're looking at right now, is just wiping up that liquidity. It's also the 5-minute high volume node and POC. So that makes sense, right? Because we spent so much time at 980. There's so much transactions around the volume with the non-farm. There's going to be a lot of volume and participation at the 980 and at 4640, 4638 on a yes. There's a lot of participation there. So we can't be naive to think that we're just going to deal with 980 or 4638 here, wipe our hands and be done with it. The market's going to come back into value. What's your take on TLT? I mean, it's a lot of volatility. All right, here we come on down into it. Dropping back off. Making a move lower. What's up, Pastor? How you doing? This week's been great for an iron condor trenched on Monday, Tuesday, and tranched out yesterday, today. Closed both sides independently, 60%. Beautiful. Nicely done. When the rates get cut and the market falls, will bonds go up? The bonds will go up, yes. The bonds will go up. That's that transfer trade, the rotation into safety, right? Because if you think, well, hold on a second. Let me get through this 980 here, and we'll talk about that. So, but yeah, the bonds will go up. Pop early weekend and crushed, yeah. So here's that 978, 980 right in here that we're going to see some sort of move here. And then we clear that out, then down we go. Yeah, Michigan consumer in 10 minutes, or 2 minutes. 2 minutes. $46.37 VWAP. Right off the volume node. And 980. Top of the hour and data coming up, Michigan consumer. Provide a little bit of fluctuation in the price. How many MNQ would you trade on a 50K combine? 2 to 3. 2 to 3. 1 to even 1. All right, here's that bounce off 980. A little bit of craziness. The price action start to get a little nuts. You see the liquidity stripped as we're preparing for this move. I recommend not trading if you are on some sort of prop. Don't trade the data. You're just going to cause yourself a lot of pain. Wait for the result. All right, let's see, about 20 seconds. See, all liquidity is completely stripped off. ES all stripped off here as well. There's nothing even remaining, even close. Stripped it all off. 16,040 up top on NASDAQ. Right off 980 POC. Big green, big green, big green. Holding, holding. Still going. A lot of fluctuation. Still going. Still going. Top wicking. On down. A lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. Let's see. The buyers are still holding this. Top wicking on back down. Coming on down. Coming on down. Nice little top wick. Let's watch it. Just tag the VT for today. There you go. So that came right up, 980. Bounce off right up the 980 we were talking about. Rallied all the way up. New high of the day to 1650. And this is prior range. So this is yesterday's main target zone. And we came right up into it. And you see that the buyers so far can't get through this level. This is from yesterday, which is as expected, quote unquote. This is where we're going to see some resistance. They hold this. Now we can start talking about new weekly highs. And this is going to be a trend up day. This is where we define where we're going to have a trend up or down here. Right here. See what the data posted. Just out of curiosity. Man, way high. Look at that. Man, economy strong, isn't it? Huge beat on non-farm payroll. Huge drop in unemployment. And Michigan consumer is way high, which should be bullish for the DXY. So watch DXY's response to this data. I'm only interested in going long on call spies after it breaks yearly highs, consolidates and moves higher. Nice. Not touching long unless we bust VT and get over 4605. Nice. Anyone else booked up nuked from that data drop? There's a big red move down after a nice top wick into yesterday's supply. Right into it. Great area to reject. And on back down. My tinfoil hat says all the data is sus until the election. Well, I think that's probably a likely thought. However, we need to figure out how it applies to the market. Beautiful area to reject right there. Top wick back down. Buying it back up. Staying short. Screenshot of widgets including new order book and absorption that I use. Correlation of markets. Nice. I like it. I like it. I need to rebuild my book map this weekend after cleared out all my downloads. All right, now that they're re-attacking this range, most likely I'd say they're going to breach this. They attacked it yesterday, we reject it. We attacked it the day before, we rejected. We've attacked it this morning. A nice little small rejection, but they're bought it right up back up. So what this is doing is there's an auction occurring at this high level. The 16,040 on NASDAQ and 46.05 and change for ES. They're absorbing this level. And if they hold that, then that's when you know that there's the supply that is there is gone, and we'll transact higher. However, you have to know that I'm still neutral until we get above these ranges. This 4600, 4605 range, I'm still just kind of chilling, neutral bias until we get out of it, because they've been doing this for a month now. Is coming up to the top of the 4600 range and rejecting, going down to 4550 and bouncing. Coming for the GEX. Yeah, and of course we have GEX at 461 as well. We have GEX at 461. Flip over here to NASDAQ. Still going. So this is that area right here. All these prior rejections right in this area. We have all the supply that we need to deal with right in here. I'm going to head out so I don't do something stupid. I'm not going to trade, but I did so. Yeah. Nice, Paul. Well done today. Keep those profits. ES is the same way. ES is right in the same exact area. All of this supply that we need to deal with. If they hold it, this is when we'll have the trend up day. This typical Friday, kill the VIX, bam, and off we go. But we got to hold this range first. First things first is we got to get through this level. Testing out a couple of new indicators. Oh yeah, I forgot that. I've got the application on, so I have to mute Bookmap if I want to do that. My apologies. I'll have to do that again. I've set up my Streamlabs a little differently today, so I got to get used to it. Usually I could just minimize it. Bottom wick down. Looks like we're going to break out right there. I'm taking a speculative long right there with that bottom wick to make for the breakout of the top to come higher here. So I grabbed a 1630 on that little bottom wick, 16030, and going to see if this is going to break higher. Speculation here just to see if we're finally going to break out of this supply on NASDAQ. 16040, and there's a pop-up higher. It's got all the looks of it. There's 1650, 1660, and I'm going to go ahead and roll my stops up to 40, and that'll guarantee me 10 points as this thing goes. There's 1655. In terms of liquidity shifting, we have up to 1680, but this has all the looks of breaking out of the supply finally. I don't know if it's going to do it or not, but it's looking like it, and I'm going to play it. So there's 1640 up to 1658, 1660. I'm going to roll up to 50 now and secure 20 points profit on NASDAQ, and there's blasting even more. 1663 up to 70. Now I'm going to roll up to 55 and just keep rolling my stops up here over the speculation. There we go. There's 1670. I'm rolling up to 1660. That's going to secure 10 points. It's going to secure 30 points profit. They're just put on 65 here of liquidity. We'll see how far. Now that's supportive liquidity here, so they're taking that on and off. They took it above, they transacted it, and now they put it right back on once they transact it. So you see a lot of liquidity absorption at these levels. On a nice little engulfing green to the upside, put on a new high, and I'm just going to roll my stops right up against it. Still going. And stopped. 1662 is my fill. I got 32 points a contract for NASDAQ. I'll take it. Excellent. What indicator am I tracking? Right now, I'm testing out Lux Algo's trend line indicator. So all it does is post trends. So the reason why I'm testing it out is because I do plot trend lines, and if it can automatically do it for me, then hey, that'll save me a couple of minutes of time a day. All right, so this thing's still blasted. Am I using a stop market, or stop limit? I'm just doing a limit stop order manually, and all I do is shift it up, shift it up, shift it up. Now that one was on my prop, not on my real account. So I did a stop limit and just move it manually up on the line as we get closer. And that time I was doing about 10-point width, just because I was speculating on the breakout there. I didn't know when it was going to break out, but that kind of had the look, so I wanted to be in and speculate. And of course, now it's going up to 1690. So there's your breakout. Now we're right up against weekly highs too. If we can take out weekly highs, this is going to be, we're going to go right to 461 on SPY. This has all the looks of it. 16,080 and going. Bam, going. Now it's 16,085, 1690, up 100% on 0 DTEs. Nice, Spider-Man. Yeah, we're blasting out now. Typical trend update here, and we be going. $46.07 is last week's highs. Be careful. Yeah, so let it adjust. If you want to look for last week's highs, which is here, I'll put a red line there. If you're not long yet, this is where we need to be careful. So this is that resistance range. We're eating up to it very easy, which shows you the strength. Shows you the strength for the buyers here. This is a good amount of resistance that we've had. A lot of liquidity forming here, and we just ate right through it like it's nothing. So if you want to go, if you're not long yet, I'd be a little careful. What I would wait for this to do is to break, retest, and then go. This right here would be your entry, not here. The risk reward here is too low, because right now you're probably FOMOing. Holy crap, I wish I would have taken a long, wish I can get in. I need to get in to catch this trend. You don't want to do that. There's not enough risk versus reward on this trade at the moment, because we could hit this level and reject and retreat back down 10 points and then go higher. Or we could break it, come down to retest, and then go higher. Either one. Your entries want to be here, not here. So just be ready. You can't see it again. Dang it. I got to get used to that. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Here, look. There we go. So what I was saying. If you're looking to FOMO, don't FOMO. No mo FOMO. So the risk reward here, I'll repeat it. The risk reward here is no good. You know, this market here, it could hit this line, which is the prior weekly high, which is likely, and reject, or it could break it and then come down in base and then go. Either way, your entries want to be there and there, not here. It's all about balancing risk reward. If you think in probabilities, it'll help reduce your FOMO. What's the probability happening here? Probability says with the one touch of a prior weekly high that we're going to have some sort of red or top wick or rejection off this level. And if we don't, either way, there's a good amount of supply here. Because in my mind, the way I think is that there is supply here. There's a whole block of supply orders right here. That's how I think about it in my mind. So we get so caught up in the visual nature of candles, because that's what trading has become these days, is, you know, visual candles and stuff, which kind of changes things. But you have to think about what's actually going on behind here. If you were to pull back this and see the hamster spinning on the wheel behind your screen, there is a block of sell orders here, because it's probably weekly high of people being trapped long. So what's going to happen? We're going to come to this area. We're going to have a top wick. It's not going to blast right on through this on the first try. Going to have a top wick, but the question is, how big is the top wick? So now this is strictly speaking from a scalping perspective. If you want to go long and hold this thing for however long you want to, then by all means go for it if you can handle the drawdown. But in terms of a good entry for scalping, we're going to have a rejection in this area. Somewhere in this area. Whether it break above and come back down, or hits this area and comes down, or however big. And your job is to need to figure out when this part happens and enter at the lows for optimum entry. The stronger the entry that you have, the harder it is to shake you out. The weaker the entry, the easier it is. If you take a long at the very top, very easy to get you out. One little red candle and you're stopping out. Is R2 the main pivot? On today's chart, yes. You know what's interesting though? If we hit R5 today, we're right up against all-time highs. And I may be shelling out $500. $500. This means Trader J is coming to collect. Yeah. Send him a Target gift card. ES is bottom, we can back up. Still going. There we go. So there's your entry. Right there. It pulled back. Right there. R2 is money. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. He also said this year's low will be 0. Applebee's gift cards? Yeah. Watch this area. New high on NASDAQ and ES pushing a little bit up there. And got 451 all over it at the moment. $46.01. What's the main mantra for scalping a trade? Optimum entries. Remember that 4,800 I bookmap a month ago? Yeah, that was actually on in July. They did take it off. They've since taken it off, but that was on in July. Yeah. Boom. All right, I popped into a 4,600 call. I'm going to do the same thing I do with the NASDAQ and just move my stops up on this move on that entry and to 46,100 climbing up. And that's a 50-point move up on NASDAQ to break out highs. So NASDAQ is coming off. There was your entry point right there. And we're coming up into the next supply as they're taking out new weekly highs. So it got it across the board. And now it's breakaway central. You know, if there's this much bullish activity to take away monthly highs or weekly highs and that liquidity grab on non-farm and with the GEX at 461, this thing is going. So up we go. Up we go. Now that I've got a decent entry, my goal is to Charleston Heston for my cold dead hands. Set a stop and let the market take it from you. Make the market take it from you, I should say. Is this a good time to practice adding to winners? Yeah. Anytime you got a trend like this, for show. For show. Add to winners. Is the trading view link wrong? No, it's not. $46.61 and going. And your prop firm entry, do you buy the ask or market? I do limit orders. I never do market. Well, I've done it before, but I rarely. If I'm doing market, there's a reason why I'm doing it. I'll say that. But no, on that entry, it was limit. All right, 4,600. Do we breach 4,700 today? On the March contracts, I mean, that'd be a heck of a run, but maybe, maybe. I don't know. I hope so for my calls. Where's VWAP at? Right here. All right. I just sent this to Trader J in DMs. You click on buy limit and then drag it up. Yeah. So, I want to plan my attacks. And right there, I was looking for the pullback off that level. I see the big red candle. I start to see the bottom wicks, and then I set the limit on that candle. When I see that, obviously, when I see that red candle, I don't know how far it's going to pull back. So I wait for the volume to start to come in the bottom wicks, and then I shift it into the candle to get my fill when I'm ready to get in. But if you're doing limit orders, most of the time you're probably going to be okay. But if you get any kind of crazy whipsaw candle, especially dealing with NASDAQ, you're going to get a very poor entry. I just don't. I don't. It's a bad practice. All right, I'm going to pull this thing up. Set a stop it up here. I want to let this thing do its thing. I don't want to miss out on a trend up afternoon after all of these moves. This is a significant event here, so I don't want to be too lax or too aloof with my exits here. You know what's funny? It's been beautiful weather for the past week and a half, like 60 degrees, clear skies, sunny. And then next 10 days is supposed to be beautiful, like 45, 50 degrees, clear skies. Tomorrow, Saturday, thunderstorms all day. It's like the weather knows. The weather knows it's Saturday. Why is my mind telling me to short, even though the bullish trend? Today is not the day to short. Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least. Am I in a NASDAQ long? No, I'm in an SPX call, 4,600 call. So the typical reaction to a trend by the retail trader is to reverse it. They want to short the high. They want to short trend, bull trends and long bear trends. It's just the way your mind works. Not even retail. It's just that's the natural human mind. We want to get those areas. And sometimes it's not a terrible idea. The market doesn't always blast and keep on going. However, when the trend is this high, and you have to realize you have to look at it through context. Where are we trending, and how aggressive is the trend? That can help you stop shorting trends. This right here, this line and this block, this right here was a major resistance zone for the whole range. This red line is the weekly high. These are major supplies. And NASDAQ and ES both made very easy, quick work of these supplies. So that tells you strength in buyers, change of character for what we've been seeing the past month since October 20th, and this absolute onslaught into attack onto the weekly highs. And then, of course, once we take out weekly highs, you're really going to see the strength here. I don't want to short that. If we come into this area and we see a whole bunch of major top wick, red back over, top wick, and consolidate here for an hour, and in fact, we'll go look at it. This is the price action you want to short when we're bullish. Top wick, trendy, not a lot of strength, low volume, fizzle out, then you can short that stuff. But this crap, when you're blasting right through a supply zone like this very easily, you do not, holy crap, I'm doing it again. I'm going to have to go back to the other one. No good. Drive me nuts. Anyway, this block right here, you don't want to get through the supply. When it's blasting through the supply zone, in a nutshell, you don't want to short. That's too strong. Not until you see the signs of a pullback. Let the market tell you when to short. Until now, just long it. Long the pullbacks and set a stop. We're right on top of weekly highs right here. Like, this is where we need to look. And if it absorbs the supply, then we're going to blast. I'm going to move this over here. There you go. So I've been using your theory of setting stops and letting the market get me out. I was selling too soon and losing profit, so I tried it. Every order this week got stopped out, including AMD. Stopped out at 265. Now it's over $7. Thoughts? Your stops are probably too tight. It really depends on the price action and what contracts you're taking. So, toy with it. Figure out what you're doing. If your stops are too tight or whatever it is, it depends on the theory as well. Because 80% of the time, look what just happened to me on Nasdaq. I got stopped out because I put my stop too tight on the first try, not the second try, the first try, and that cost me 100 and something points. But this week I've had 4 trades go over 50 plus points on Nasdaq because it worked out. So you're not like the things that we teach in any market strategy in general is not going to help you catch every move. That's not the goal, is to catch every move. That's just not realistic. The goal is to catch some of the moves and to automate your system as much as possible. Because when you see profit, your theory is to go ahead and I need to get out of this, take my profit and get out. Well, sometimes you just need to hold, and that's what trailing stops help you do. Big red candle. Retest time, yeah. Down to 46.56, right in that area, right here, right into supply, right back off. Yeah, that's the key, Eric, is you can't be unburdened by what could have been. What can be unburdened by what has been. We all know that. 46.56. I'm holding 10 460 calls at 25. I'm getting nervous. Ooh, 460 calls. Aggressive. I'm going to try to save the chart. Yeah, it's right. I just didn't rename it, but it's the right chart, Mike. It's the right chart. I just forgot to rename it to December 8th. So non-farm was a trap. Oh, you can call it a trap. It certainly definitely was if you were trying to short. What I like to call it is liquidity. Think about right now, the market's hungry. Right here. Think about the hedge fund or whatever machine is working the algorithms. It's hungry. It needs to eat. And it needs to go work out. It needs to go for a jog, which this is jogging right here. Or some people use the J in jogging as silent, soft J, so it's like yogging. And they need to eat before they go on a run. So what they do, they come down here, they go shopping. Boom. They stop at everybody, they gather all inventory, scoop up as much inventory as they can, and now it's time to launch. Boom. And they're off. And that accomplishes 2 things. One, it accumulates inventory to be able to transact higher because you can't go higher with that inventory. And 2, it stops out the market for more efficient pricing. It's able to draw out all the stops, stop out all the longs, so they can efficiently move this market up. So yeah, I mean, you can call it a trap, but liquidity. It's all about once you understand this is market. All this market is liquidity. You can understand this crap happens all the time, all the time. Moving my stops to a previous pivot point instead of an arbitrary percentage of my position has helped me stay in longer and capture more gains. Nice. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm going to pronounce my J's like that from now on. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to have to change it back. It's driving me nuts. The obelisk claims was different. It was. I wonder if I could do something like this. Y'all tell me if you could see this all right. Book map. Is that okay or is that too small? Better? Sweet. That might help a little bit. All right. Bookmap removed all of 4580 liquidity. That's gone. They added 4620. Where's the YouTube link? Right here. Put in stream analysis too. I'm trying to hang on to these calls, but I'm getting nervous. Well, just set your stop on it. Manage the position. If it does full on reverse, just make sure you stop out of the position. Don't hold it and let the thing draw all the way down. Coming back off. 4604, 4602. With a stop limit, aren't you worried about a blow through your stop sometime? I haven't had a problem with that. Now, the only time I have had a problem with that is on Trade-Evate with my prop firm. I haven't had it with IBKR. And that's only when I'm a dummy playing data. So I stopped doing that a long time ago with that stuff. All right, nice pullback off supply. You only have a problem if you have a stop on your limit. All right, NASDAQ is pulling back down to 1670. That right there was a 40-point move. AS is coming back off as well. Never had it that limit price is far enough from the stop. Yeah. Right into that supply and rejecting. So that's back down to break even for the 46 hundies. I was up to 56% profit on those things too. That's okay. My intent was to play the breakout. Play the big move up. I think I have finally perfected the uni pizzas, y'all. I've been working on it for 2 years now. I think I finally perfected it. The dough, the sauce, the pizza, the cooking, the whole thing. It's pretty fantastic. I don't want to get into food talk too early here, but man, I was thinking about that yesterday. Got to send a pic. I didn't take one yesterday, but next time I do it, I'll take it. Did I use wood fire? I did. I did. I've been wanting uni. Fantastic purchase. One of my favorite purchases I ever made. It's beautiful. A little bit of red here. Is it me or does Owen's voice volume just drop? No. 46.54. It's all about the dough, baby. Yeah. All right, so if this candle breaks lower, I'll go ahead and stop out of my calls. They're negative 5% right now. They were up 56%. I took a little bit of profit, but on some contracts. But I'm still holding a good portion of the entire position. And if this candle breaks lower, that'll be a little too much for me. And I'll stop out. This is a pretty heavy rejection off supply. Now it is expected we got some some transaction of sellers into this, but if it comes too much, then we're going on full on reversal. Like right now, for example, I'm getting out, which is probably exactly where it'll bounce. But Owskies. One time I tricked my two clerks throwing pizza cook-off against each other. It was amazing. There you go. That's like some office stuff. That's how you get some free pizza. Right off supply. Just stop that at calls as well? Yeah. Opening OM Pizza here. It's funny because I could make a killing off that. There's nothing here. All right, so we took out that prior pivot on NASDAQ and is bottom looking at the moment. This is back inside 46.51. And Bookmap has no liquidity really on the book, a very light book. In fact, Rhythmic, ESH 3. I got that on there, Rhythmic. I need to find the denominator for that. Coming off. So good stop out for me. I like it. It's too much of a pullback, so that's a good stop out for my good exit for those things. Now we're really starting to come off. I have a meeting about an hour, so time for me to jump off. Nice, Pastor. Any other news? Bond auctions? Not really, no. I think that's it for the day. What's my recipe? Let me get through this move and we'll talk about it. I don't want to get into food talk here when this thing's starting to move. This is a pretty healthy pullback. It's 15 points on ES. And NASDAQ is getting pummeled right now. Big move down. 16.045. Nice profit, not so nice loss. Kids trading. Yep. There you go. Big move down right there. 46.46. So that came off of 62 down to 44. So that's a 20-point sell-off. Not what you want to see for a trend up. But you see them, they can't get through the weekly high. Right here. Into that supply and bam. Fall right off. So this is no longer valid, so we can close out this. That supply's been dealt with. And now it's all about this. What was that yellow box? It was just a prior rejection range for the week. Oh, big red candle. Look at that. NASDAQ is just dumped. I managed to catch a short order right when I freaking entered at 16.45. That was a ridiculously timed trade right there. VWAP is coming down to 44.62. Going to enter a put swing here. Swing puts. Ooh, that's aggressive. Probably just profit taking. That's a big move for profit taking. Off of that, that just ate up nearly 60% of the move. Right on supply. So still, we almost got hot and bothered. They almost got me hot and bothered, getting above that, trying to get up that area, but they just reject the weekly high, come back down. Still smack dab inside the range. Daily has a top wick. Yeah, it does. Hey, trading the long side? Um, I don't know. It was still coming on down here. Dump it. 16025. Man, what a move on Nasdaq. That's a 100-point move on Nasdaq. That 15-minute looks like I don't know what. Don't know what. Yeah, 15-minute. I mean, that's a big old red candle. This is a big move down. This is more than just a little retracement. This is a full-on reversal candle right there. 21 points on ES. 100 points on Nasdaq. Now that is a very pivotal moment. That was a pivotal moment for Nasdaq and ES. It's a big old pullback here. So watch it hit VWAP, POCs. I don't know how far this is going to go, but just roll your trailings down. That's it. Roll your trailings. What did oil do? Oil rocketed to 71.61. Mouse has got a low battery. What do y'all think of the new Legos Fortnite? Y'all play it yet? I haven't played it yet. It's kind of weird. 46.44. Tweezers with a needle. On the 15-minute, do I trade CL? I do. Yeah, I took a bath on my CL trade this week. I long 74 and stopped out 71. $46.43 holding right on VWAP. What platform do you play Fortnite on? Yeah, PC. I can't play it on Xbox anymore. I'm terrible. Not to say I'm any good on PC either, but I'm good far away. If I get close up battle, I get destroyed. I can't. I'm just not good close up. All right, holding right on POC here, 46.43. Holding 46 here. Is Fortnite an FPS? Yes, it is. All right, right here. Sorry, I was typing some up. All right, so this looks like a flag. I hate to say it, but bear flag. On the shorter time frames, the 5-minute only has a top wick. Those 8-year-olds sneak up on me. They did. Those 8-year-olds are vicious, man. Get out of here, boomer. Right in the face. I'm good. So that just broke there. Top wick back down. Still got to get through VWAP 46.42. And the prior pivots overnight. So looks like we're forming a base. You fully switched over to the March contracts on the ES? Not yet. Not yet. Epic killed the soul of Rocket League, so we're bringing some generic racing game with real RL skins. I never played Rocket League. I don't know. Still holding 1603. So there's a lot of pivots right here. So support resistance flip or retracement. Crucial area for the day right here. Crucial spot on the markets right here. You think down? I'm biased. Well, I'm not going to get, the range. That's what's going to get me in. So, got to get out of the range. I posted in there, goaltender. That channel. What's the best way to describe why resistance turned into support from your perspective? Trapped. Trap longs. Weak positions. So I think, in terms of liquidity. I think in terms of order flow behind the market. What actually makes this green and red crap that's on our screen? And that is just the fact that the market's an auction. That theory is so strong, it's literally the first chapter of my book. It's literally opening with, you need to understand that the market is an auction of orders, period. Nothing else matters. Not news, nothing else. And once you understand that, you can get over the crap of, trap and manipulation and all that stuff, because when you're thinking about when you're trying to buy something, you're going to try to manipulate the price of your product to get as high as you can. You're going to put the stuff you want to sell up against the net right beside the high stuff, or the good stuff. You're going to change the prices to find buyers and sellers. That's what you're going to do, and that's what the market auction accomplishes. So if you've got a prior support of resistance, let's call this one right here because it is a bit of a resistance in itself. Prior resistance, rejection, come back up, blast through it. Now we have trap shorts, trap longs right up here, or trap shorts right here. If we try to short that level, come on back down, and they're going to do everything they can to get out of break even. And once it breaks through this level, comes back up and retests this level, all it's doing is regathering inventory to come back lower, coming back to the auction house to grab more inventory. Right here. 46.44. So all the people that were longing right here on this bounce, if this thing drills, there's a whole bunch of trap longs. 46.44 is going to come back up. All those trap longs are desperate to get out of break even. They're going to close out positions, and then we're going to sell back off. Not to mention the overall order flow of the market, the pressure of the market. How to maximize loss potential. Yeah, well, low key, that is a very common. I know you're making a joke, and there's a lot of retail that it's uncanny how perfectly wrong their entries are. I've had a very unique perspective of getting a lot of DMs from a lot of people struggling over the past 3 years. And that is shockingly common to be perfectly wrong over and over and over again. Like to the point where statistically it doesn't make sense. You could literally do better by throwing a dart at a dartboard that says puts or calls and hitting and going. And it's because the market is literally tooled to grab your liquidity. It does that because it's tailored and built to grab liquidity, to entice liquidity flow up or down. So if you're sitting there with no position open and you've got a market order fill up, and the second you see red, your market order into shorts or market order into longs on green, then you're probably going to get reversed all the freaking time. all the freaking time. You have to be productive. You have to have a plan of attack. Even if you're wrong about your plan of attack, if you have a plan of attack and you tell yourself when I see this price action or this level, I'm going to enter, you will do way better than being reactive. Hope you have a good Amazon distribution strat. A successful book on Amazon is a great upper funnel play for your business. I don't have a good Amazon distribution strat, but that sounds like I need to do that. First, I got to get this dang book released. It's a lot harder to write a book. I haven't thought of a name yet. That's one of the biggest holdups for me is I can't think of a good name. I got one shot at this. Got to make it good. I thought about naming it Really Good Trading Book, but that's a little plain. ChatGPT it. There you go. Pull a card from Ron Swanson. Trading for jabronis. I thought about doing that actually. Ivan Terrible, but I figured people wouldn't take it seriously if I named it that. Good names come from the theme and usually a line from the book itself. Nice. That's a good choice. Yeah, that's true. I bought a book on Amazon. The author reached out and gave me a copy of her book signed digitally too. Big fan. Nice. Gabagool trading. I'm very poor at candlesticks. What are the one or two most important things to identify pivots? Wicks. John Wick. Pencil. Yeah, so the wicks are the candles. Bottom wick or top wick. That should be price action trading 101. So when you're looking for candlesticks, learn to identify the wicks and then learn what they mean. Again, I want to revert you back to what we said earlier, is that the market is an auction. And I think the visual nature of the market it kind of causes a lot of the losses because we get so hung up on looking at these candles, but we forget what the candles mean, what they're representing. So how far behind do you keep your stop loss when trailing? Decent entry on that reversal, but it got stopped out. I did too. I had a fantastic entry on the move up. It's really based on theory. It depends. So if I'm scalping on my prop firm or something like that, I'll keep the stop pretty tight. But that call I took there because I was playing for the breakout. I was playing for the typical trend up Friday days we get with a breakout with no pullbacks. Even if we were going to come into supply, I got a great entry, so I was willing to put on to let it risk a little bit more. And I took a little bit of profit, but I still left a majority of the position on. I got up to 56% profit, and then of course we had the big reversal and got me out of the trade. But my theory was I want to let that thing breathe to get the blast off into like 46, or the March contracts like 46.70, 46.80, trend up to 461 on SPY. And obviously it didn't happen, which is fine because I had a process, I had a theory. I wasn't just white knuckling the trade, and which is that happens. So for that one, I let the stop loss come all the way back down into 10% negative from 56% positive, which is a 66% delta on that particular trade. But when I'm playing on my props or something like that, usually 10 to 15 points on NASDAQ and anywhere between 5 or 6 points on ES. But I'm also looking for 30 to 50 points of profit. If I've got a 10 to 15 point stop loss, I don't want to be scalping for 3-4 points. I want to be putting on a move that I could get 100 points, 50 points, 30 points. Speaking of which, NASDAQ is up 60 points off the bottom. Once upon an option. That's a good idea. Following liquidity. That's a good name, Fahim. Ooh, I like that. All right, now we're coming all the way back up. Now we coming all the way back up. Yeah, following liquidity is a good one. Apple's coming back up to highs. NASDAQ is looking like it's going to gun right on to this area. blast off. Yeah, I don't want to do that because it insinuates the book's about options trading, and it's about trading in general. So that's why I elected not to do that. Big green coming up. I was tossed around by the market today. Been doing very well with my trading over the past week, and today just killed me, taking extremely small position sizing. I mean, if you took small position sizing and you've had a great week, you don't really need to reevaluate. Um, it's just a red day, man. So that happens. Just make note of what happened, take notes of exactly what happened, and go from there. There ain't nothing wrong with a red day as long as you keep it within your risk management, your parameters. And Nasdaq is blasting out of the top there, man. Coming up to big green there. Coming up, we've got 46.57. That was a 14-point move on ES. Nasdaq rallied as well. Apple, I think, put in a new high there, or at least got pretty dang close. VIX still holding 1282. Not a lot of movement in the VIX. They're pinging back and forth between 1280 and 1290. TLT's new low of the day. XLF is up. DAX is new all-time highs like always. Yeah, like always. $1.48% increase in portfolio. Nice, Damien. Nice comeback from yesterday. You got back to break even yesterday, didn't you? Didn't you get 0.23% yesterday after having a loss? Amazing. Well done. Got 3-2. I got close. Well done. That's awesome. Inversing the Magnificent Seven. Still coming up, bottom wick, and a little bit of rollover there, and immediately hammered 8.2 up to 9.8. And this is probably the move I was looking to play, is into the next breach. This is the drop back down of rocket. So the morning high right now is 62 on the March contracts. Low of the day is at open candle 46.29. So it came on down, tapped POC and VWAP, and bounced aggressively. Will there be a post on IG about it? Yeah, I'll let everybody know when it's coming close. It probably won't be for a while. Had a lot of family events this past summer that kind of put the pause button on a lot of content production, as you noticed. Content title sometimes can look like focusing on the bow more than the gift. Yeah. Still going higher here. I think it's going to. I think this will take out the move. This will take out the move here, the prior move. It's going to. That was a liquidity grab lower, take a little profit, and then boom, blast. Remind me a lot of yesterday's move down before full recovery. Yeah, it's certainly doing it again. Looking around 46.58. What's the next supply for ES on Bookmap? Once we get through that level there, and actually get through this weekly high and absorb that supply, if we do it on this time around, then we'll be looking for into the 46.7. No, it's a little too tight. Hold on a second. I gotta go back to my chart and look at the December contracts. 47.30 ish will be there for December. Add symbol. And 46.76 and change for the December contract. So we still have 80 points to get to July's highs, and we have 100. Let's see, 100 and 200, about 200 points to get to all time. July's highs, yeah. Is shorting 46.60 a good idea? Judging by that candle, yeah. But so this is the question you have to ask yourself: is this a double top, or is this just a liquidity grab to blast higher? I don't know. You see, obviously, we have one red candle off the supply area. It's going to be big. All I know is that once we do deal with the supply, the trend up will be pretty aggressive. Yeah, still there. All right. Missed my original 392.50 by 2 cents. I'll be honest, now that my family knows I'm trying to make a career out of trading, they constantly tell me that it's stupid, I can't make money, and it's gambling. That messes with my mind badly. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. I don't really have a good answer for that. I've been blessed with a very supportive wife in terms of trading, despite, she knows the good comes with the bad. There's days, I've had the pleasure of being able to hand her a $158,000 check from trading. I've also had the misfortune of telling her we've lost 6 figures in a single day. So, she's seen both sides of it. So now it all depends on the type of family you're talking about. Are you talking about like your wife and kids, or are you talking about like your mom, dad, brothers, and sisters? Because if it was mom, dad, brothers, and sisters, I'd tell them to go take a hike. If it's my wife, obviously, then we need to have a conversation. Your wife and your husband is your partner. That's your partner in life. You can't go tell them to take a hike. You have to work it out. Biggest financial decision you'll ever make is marrying the right person. Big red candles coming off. Nice.